Hey everybody, this video is on figuring out your macronutrients. So I'm just going to give you some general information. This is not an exact science, but the first thing you'll need to do is to figure out how many calories you need. And I'm not big on calorie counting, but this just gives you an estimate, a guesstimate, so that you can break down how many fats, how many carbs, and how much protein you need. So the way you figure your calories out is you take your body weight, say you're 125 pounds, and you multiply that by between 14 and 16. Okay, so 14 if you're sedentary and you don't exercise a lot, and 16 if you're more active. So I'll do 125 times 16 and we'll see what that is. It is 2,000 calories. Okay, so that's what you would aim for if you weighed 125 and you were active. If you weren't active, you would multiply 125 by 14. That gives you your calories. Then you want to figure out the percentage of proteins, fats, and carbs. And like I say, this isn't just an exact science, but it will give you some indication of what you need from each macronutrient. So for protein, you want proteins because they're satiating and they help keep you full. They prevent osteoporosis and sarcopenia. So you want to aim for 30 to 40% of your diet being from protein. Protein gives us 4 calories per gram. So the way you would figure that out is if you want to go lower on the protein or if you want to go higher, you would use 30% of the weight that we came up with, or 40% if you needed more protein. So I aim to get 40% protein because I'm doing strength training, I'm doing lots of walking, lots of running. So it'll depend on your individual circumstances what you want to get in terms of protein. Fats, you are going to aim between 25 and 30% fat. Now, if you're overweight, you probably want to go on the lower side, the 25% side. Having said that, healthy fats are really important in the body, and even a little bit of saturated fat is okay. Just be careful with it, and especially if your cholesterol is high. Like my cholesterol is high, so I don't eat a lot of saturated fat. But like last night, I was at my mother-in-law's and she made me a sandwich and some soup, and there was spicy cheese on the sandwich, and I just ate it. I didn't stress about it. I just ate it. And today I won't have any cheese. So if there's things you love that have saturated fat in them, have them in moderation. You don't want to get more than 30% of your calories from fat though, especially if you're trying to lose weight. The last thing we're going to talk about is your carbs. Now this one is really difficult. I know some of you have done Zoe. If you've not done Zoe, I would recommend you do it if you can afford it, because it will tell you how good you process carbohydrate. So for me, I got a lousy score of 23 out of 100, which means when I eat carbohydrate, my body does not process them well. And I'll give you another example. Back to my mother-in-law's last night, she made me a healthy soup, and then it was a pita bread, and it had tomatoes and cheese in it. That's all, and that's all I had. No, it's not. She gave me a piece. It was her birthday. So I had a tiny piece of carrot cake. I ate that, and my blood sugar, I have on a blood sugar monitor. It went through the roof, and I totally understand why. You had the carbs in the pita bread. I had carbs in the cake, and literally my piece of cake was that small. But I am really not good at processing carbs. So while I'm going to tell you your ideal amount of carbohydrate is 30 to 40%, some of us have to go even lower. I also want to tell you, by wearing one of these monitors, I found out that I can't eat things like porridge. I had a bagel one day and I went into diabetic range. Now I'm small, I don't have a lot of body fat, but still I do not process carbs well. And a lot of women find this after menopause. Now, I don't want you to stop eating carbohydrate, because guess where the fiber is? The fiber is in the carbohydrates. So even though that's the case with me, I still have barley. I still have oat groats, which is the porridge that still has the husk on it. I still eat the occasional potato, but portion size are really small, and I wouldn't eat 30% of my diet from carbs just because it's too many for me. So I'll go back through this really quick. Proteins, you want to get between 30 and 40% of your calories. Fats, 25 to 30% of your calories. Carbohydrate is different. You have to figure that out for yourself, and it can help if you wear a blood sugar monitor or if you do Zoe. So that's my big recommendation for you for carbohydrates. But if you're feeling lack of energy and you're eating things like oatmeal, I would recommend changing that up a little. Some things you can do, like for breakfast, sometimes I'll make a yogurt bowl and I'll put chia seeds in it. I'll put pistachios in it, lots of nuts. The research shows if you eat 1 serving of nuts per day, even if you're overweight, that it can help you lose weight, and it's really healthy for you. So I love nuts. On the topic of carbs, I also want to speak to beans. Beans are one of the healthiest foods on the planet. But again, if you don't process carbohydrate well, they can still spike your sugar. So that's the case with me again. Chili spikes my blood sugar. I still eat it though, because I know beans are really good for me. Sometimes I'll make a big salad with chickpeas. So you just have to figure out what these problem foods are for you. Keep them. We need the nutrition from some of these foods, you know. So I know somebody I follow, Dr. Furman. He has an acronym called GBOMS: greens, beans, onions, mushrooms, berries, and seeds are the healthiest foods on the planet. I would argue that we need a little bit of lean protein as well. I've tried both plant-based diets, meat-based diets, and then a combination, and by far my body feels better and I respond better when I have a little bit of both. There's certain nutrients, B12, choline, things in meats that are helpful, but you have to also figure that out for yourself, because I've watched a ton of summits and almost went completely plant-based when I watched them, and then I watch my blood sugar when I eat completely plant-based, and I'm not getting the results I need. So you really need to do some digging. If you would like for me to help you figure out your macros based on the percentages I've given you today, just send me an email and I'm happy to do that. But that's how you figure it out. You can also plug your data into MyFitnessPal and it will do it for you. And then it just gives you an idea of, you know, the different things that you can eat. But like when I did Zoe, I found out that I process fats really well. So I eat a lot of avocados, I eat a lot of nuts, I eat a lot of olives. I try to stay away from oil because oil is just, It's really calorific and it goes into your bloodstream quickly. So you're better eating the food rather than using the oil. So there's like avocado oil, olive oil. I would rather eat the avocados and eat the olives. That said, olive oil is really healthy as long as you're getting a good quality olive oil, so you can use an olive oil as well. I hope you found that helpful. Again, if you do want me to help you figure out your macronutrients, just send me your weight, and I will do a little thing for you that shows you the range of what you could do based on these percentages that I've given you in this video. Hope that was helpful, and I'll speak to you soon. Bye.